Well, I went to print something today, and I immediately wanted to remake Kid for Today. Because when I hit the button, this is what I heard. And if you add a paper shuffle along with that, and add the kick and the snare, you got the beat for Kid for Today. So I figured I might as well remake the whole song. So let me take you through how I made it. First thing you hear in the song is this pad, this droning pad, and I made it with the Tal Uno LX. I just used the organ preset, but I made some changes, and I turned the noise all the way up so I'd have this kind of whooshing sound. Didn't use the channel EQ. And the auto filter, there's no animation of it. You can't see it moving, but I've been using this LFO over here to sweep the filter back and forth. So I'm sweeping this pad sound. And again, you can't see the animation, but what's happening is this little filter is going back and forth and washing. And then I knew I was going to do auto pan left and right. And so I needed a lot of stereo information to the far left and far right. And so I used the Ozone Imager and sort of stereoized it. Let's take a look at the image of that. And we can also look at it another way and see. Let's take a look at it another way, the polar levels. And you can see that I've got a lot of stereo information there to the far left and far right. And so I'm able to use that auto pan very effectively to wash that back and forth. And now on to the solo B3 that you hear in the song. And on that one I put this auto filter. And I'm just enhancing only the mid-range frequencies, and I've got a little resonant peak there. So for this I used Arturia's B3, and you can actually just use the default preset, and you can actually see the keyboard playing when you play the MIDI. Now, amazingly, without the auto filter, it does not sound like Boards of Canada. This is because now it has the full frequency information, and it sounds like, you know, take me out to the ball game type of organ. And so Boards of Canada in a lot of their songs used some type of old tape player and various things to remove the low frequency and high frequency content and give it that really nostalgic feel that we all appreciate in Boards of Canada. And then for this kind of a bell-like Rhodes type of sound, I actually used a synth in Ableton, one of Ableton's instruments, and here's the preset. And I'm applying the Valhalla Vintage Verb to that. And followed by an overdrive to really give it that saturation. And then my last video, I was talking about this Max for Cats effect. And today, all I'm using it for is to add a little bit of kind of wow and flutter to the sound. But if you're working on Boards of Canada music, you can keep this on at all times and get an idea of how it's going to sound, even if you end up not using this particular effect when you do your mastering.